What's the first thing you think of when you think of Dublin? Is it a Spire? Is it Temple Bar? Just grabbing a pint in any pub? Well, there's so much more to Dublin. For example, on a lovely, gorgeous spring day like this, nearly 19 degrees, where does all of Dublin go? Where do you think? No, it's not the pub. It's the beach. Yes, Dublin has beaches. And Dublin has so many more off the beaten path things that you don't find in tourist guides. So today we'll show you 3 of those.
So today I have the pleasure of talking to you from Dollymount Strand. Look at me, shades. It is bright out. Me and my Caribbean self are enjoying this. But it's not just me. People are enjoying the beach. Earlier we've got some people on the kite surfing, people walking, people swimming. A hive of activity. This is what you do when it's a good day out. But even if it's not a good day out, the beaches can provide a wonderful space to walk and to just breathe in that wonderful ocean air.
So I can't deny that it is rather windy, as it is often on Dublin beaches, but there are lots of things you can do even when it's windy. If you're a local or unafraid of the cold, you can go swimming, like lots of people are today. You can also do things like kite surfing or just other water-based activities that more sportsy people than us know, like kayaking and all those things. Other people just go for a stroll, maybe get a cuppa at the nearest restaurant or cafe or one of the little trucks that pop up, or walk their dog. One of our favourite things about the beaches of Dublin is that you usually get absolutely gorgeous views of Dublin Bay. So if you didn't know, Dublin is kind of like this, like a U-shape. So once you're on the beach, you get to see a panorama north-south. So behind me, you have Hove Highland, Hove Head. I'm making up places. So behind me, you have Hove Head. To the south, you see the Poolbeg chimneys, you see Poolbeg Lighthouse, and all the way down into the Wicklow Mountains and Killiney, all kinds of places that I'm literally struggling to remember the names.
Number 2 that you might be looking for, if you're looking for something that's not the usual touristy spot, is actually neighbourhoods just here near the city centre. We've spoken before that we've lived in Dublin 8 around the Liberties, and it's one of these villages that is very close to the city centre, but also not well traversed. You do know where the Guinness Storehouse is if you've come here, but it's in that same neighbourhood. So you can, pop off the path after Guinness Storehouse and go more into some of these older neighbourhoods where you can see the older architecture, whether it's the Victorian or Georgian. There are also lots of old pubs. Brazenhead, it's, might be said to be touristy, but once you go further in, there are lots of other pubs in the area. And not just here in that general Dublin 8 section. You can go further south and go into Rathmines. We covered this one. And, these quaint little villages that still have a sense of village life right there in the city centre.
I love visiting Dublin neighbourhoods, or villages as they're also called, not just because it gives you a more authentic experience of Dublin, but it also shows you the different little pockets of Dublin with different vibes, and it's just lots of fun to walk off from one of the main streets into the side streets and look at all the architecture. And it really does look very much like a postcard, especially in certain areas like in Rathmines, and you can just walk around, look at the Georgian houses, look at the colourful doors and get that sort of historic Dublin vibe that you might be expecting. And whenever you get hungry, just stop in one of the local food places and try out lots of the cafes and international cuisines that you can find there. And number 3 on our list is Poolbeg Lighthouse. You can actually see it right there behind me, the little red thing on the horizon. While you can't go exactly inside the lighthouse, it's all about the journey there. So basically, to get there, you have to walk along a seawall. You're probably like, what is a seawall? Well, it's basically, like the name says, a wall that they built into the sea about 200 years ago for whole background reasons above trying to keep the erosion out of the port and keep the sand from building up. But basically, that wall has managed to still exist 200 years later, and you get to walk along it feeling like you're walking on top of the sea towards this lighthouse, and as we mentioned before in our point about beaches, you get stunning coastal views because you're basically in the middle of Dublin Bay, so you get views to the north, sweeping views to the south, and you might even see a ferry go past. So those were just 3 examples of things to do in Dublin off the beaten path. Things that make Dublin for the locals, and if you want to experience more of Dublin than just Temple Bar or the Guinness Storehouse, those are definitely some things you should check out. And if you live in Ireland or in Dublin and you have a lot of time to check out more things, or if you're just coming here for a longer time, definitely make sure to check out our book. We have a huge range of lists of different things to do, things that include walks, some more indoor things for when it does eventually rain again, and also some seasonal stuff for each month of the year. And with that, make sure to subscribe, check out the link in the description for our book, and see you in the next video. Bye!